It's the time to get down.
But I want to be treated like a queen.
What would you prefer, queen or princess?
Queen.
See,
See, I like taking a notch up.
See, wait a minute.
You know, because the
wait a minute.
princess will be my daughter.
Oh man.
The queen would be me.
You know the
So
connotation.
if the king can't run his castle, you bet your bottom dollar Miss Miko,
you know what,
which is
let
the
me
queen,
say-
will have to step
let
in
me tell you
and run
something.
it.
Let me tell you what guys feel about queen and princess. They feel like a queen is a bitch.
So,
And a princess is a beautiful woman. And
but
she's
through
scary.
history, that queen got the job done.
Look at-
It either worked for you or it worked against you, depending on how the king was handling his castle.
Notice her hands
Amen.
move more now. That you
Yes.
Let's gonna go with our next
I got
subject.
attitude now. Watch out.
All right, we're gonna go
The
into our
Queen
number two.
Elizabeth was a what?
And she.
And she was off with the head.
And let me say something else.
Mm.
I can't because we go global here. So let me keep it tight here.
Yes, I do apologize, but you know the women out there that's listening of
Right.
all nationalities, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I might not be able to phrase it like you, but you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, queen
Exactly.
in this day, queen equals diva almost.
No, no,
For men,
no.
yes, it does.
No,
For men, we look at it that way.
That's new age or new school. That queen is exactly what it is.
Wait a minute.
Now her
Well,
fashion sense and her attitude, all that
Wait a
is,
minute.
yeah.
We're talking about attitude.
That's
You know what the term we call if it's not a queen? We go when we say high maintenance. You know, to serve a queen. You know, queens are to be served. Isn't that true? Isn't that true? Oh, please, don't even go here. Don't even go here. See, right now, you can't say, I
had a moment. Excuse me. Don't speak for me on that.
Queens
I
are
had
supposed
a
to
moment.
be served, right?
Definitely.
Okay, so
at
you
all
prefer-
costs. At all costs.
Wait a minute, PMC.
You see my face? I'm frowning.
Wait a minute, PMC said, no, Vic, my wife is my queen. I said, because you have no choice.
No, don't say that. No, he selected that woman to be his queen, so he had a choice, Victor.
I'm talking about dating.
Choice.
I'm not talking about marriage.
Choice.
Wait a minute.
You dating
Wait a
to
minute.
make that choice.
Wait a
Am
minute.
I wrong?
Wait a minute, I'm going to answer you. First of all, dating doesn't mean that when you go out to date.
Why you
going
gonna waste your money?
Wait, no.
Like
No,
Max
no.
said, why you gonna
Wait a
waste
minute,
your money?
Wait a minute.
Come on, brother.
Let me say this. There are a lot of people who are, including women, who said,
Right.
I am going out to date. I am not trying to look to marry this person. I want to have a good time dating. Dating doesn't mean all the things that are negative that most people like to pull out. There's some positive dating. We're not trying to marry every time we go out and date. So there's
Waste of
fun.
time.
There's fun.
Waste of time.
Notice-
Now,
Wait a
I
minute,
said
wait a
waste
minute.
of time. That's old school thinking that I'm giving you. Waste of time. Now we getting
New
into
school?
the versus new school is what you just said. That's
school is
new
fun.
school.
New school is fine.
That's new school. I didn't say it was fine. I
Fine.
said I didn't even say that. That's new school way. Old school way is if they're dating you, they're not trying to waste no time. They're not trying to just date to be dating.
Okay.
They are on a mission.
Every group has
Old
its own.
school was on a mission. New school, I don't know
Right.
what they on because you don't know if they're coming or going.
Right, and
you just don't.
And here's the thing that's happening today, and we're going to go to our next subject. No matter what your
No, we're
age, you got three subjects. You got three. You're about to go there. You're in a present day where time has affected how people date. They want the delivery to come sooner, faster. Doesn't matter what the conditions are.
Why you say time?
Because
Can you break that down for me, please?
Let me say this.
I like
Let me
to
say
hear
this. Let me
because
say this. Let me just say this. Old school, when guys are saying, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to make sure it's right. I'm going to take my time. I'm not going to try to get into the sex. I'm going to treat her with respect. And you're just taking time. Weeks.
It's called marinating.
Right.
Oh.
That usually, you have to be very careful in this day and age. You know why? The competition. There are men who are going like, brother, you spending some extra long time. I can kind of do that and bring it like this. Do the same thing you're doing and bring it within time, a shorter range of time. And let me say this because, no, wait a minute, because this is what some women have told me. Says, Vic, he said, Vic, I don't know what you was waiting for. These guys stepped up faster, brought everything faster. Tell me what woman would appreciate a guy's taking his time or a guy who's bringing exactly what she wants a little bit faster.
What age brackets were these women in? First of all, second, were they old school or new school?
Wait.
No, answer the question.
Wait, I'm
I answer
telling you.
yours.
I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
New school.
There you go.
Okay. No, since you're back in the Queen days, we're going to go to the second subject. The second subject.
No, we're not going to go to second subject because now, see what I mean? But you choose. Whoever you were describing, they choose. Now, if it was old school, she understood what he was doing. She understood the process. That's what brings me back to new school doesn't understand that process. But at the same time, what I did catch what you were saying was, you said time.
Yes, time. The difference.
Time.
Yeah.
So explain the difference again.
Max says tick, tick, tick. The reason why I'm saying this is when I look back at whether it was old school dating.
Because back then it was time too.
Hold on. So, I'm trying to tell you this. Even if you were old fashioned and old school versus new day. New day only means new day for folks that have already had their day. Because every generation, every decade, when the younger group comes up, they're where they want to be. They don't know any difference. It's when we get older and mature, we start comparing. So I'm not comparing to say old school as if that there are no old school folks or people who don't think like present day dating. Let's get to it faster. The only thing I'm saying is before, when I had old school, believe it, I went through where it's going like, you know what, moving too slow. Okay, bringing everything, moving too slow. Time. Why was time the issue? Because your competition, people are bringing it faster.
Now,
and women have choices. They do date multiple men, just like guys date multiple women.
Right.
Is it the same thing goes for both sides? That who brings it the best is one thing, but who brings it the best, the fastest is another thing. I think the difference between then and now is that time. How much time? So you can have two schools of thought. Old school is bringing it everything. Whatever that guy is or that woman is. Today, the same thing, all good. Mm-hmm. Who brings it faster? Time. And I'm saying this for a reason.
It's interesting you said that because you can have old school that bring it tick, 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 like Max said. And then you can have new school that bring it tick, tick, tick. So still, what's the difference? Because
who takes longer?
Generation with old school, there was some guys that brung it fast.
Watch this, Miko. You got everything going for you.
No, you're not about to go there. No, what we're gonna do is we're gonna stick to what I just said. You have old school guys that could bring it fast. You have new school guys also that could bring it fast. So now what?
Okay. Then
and vice versa on the slowness. So I'm really not understanding that part.
No, I understand. What you're saying is it won't make any difference. It's about the other choices.
Right.
I'm just saying.
So I guess it's the woman that's making the determination whether or not, like you said.
How long you want a man to date you before he starts getting really serious?
I'm not answering that no more.
We gotta go to subject number 2 because we don't have time.
Because he's trying to stick me on this.
No, I'm not trying.
It depends on the guy that I'm dating. Because it depends.
If you guys on Blog Talk Radio could see her face, I've taken a couple of pictures. I'll try to put that in Max's answer.
Mac, you still didn't answer what I was asking you, so you need to be quiet.
All
Sit
right.
down.
Let me go to this.
But we're going to the second segment of this. Is,
do
ahead. Women prefer dating old or younger men? Now, me personally.
You better be careful.
I got to be careful about that. It always been you had to be 5 years ahead of me or more. I've always been attracted to older men. I've dated younger. It just didn't work. I dated same age. It just didn't work. My attraction, personal preference, has always been older guys.
Now you got that out the way real fast, didn't you?
Yes,
you
I
volunteered
did.
that information.
Yes, I know why.
But you didn't want to answer the other questions, though, right?
Well, I'm gonna go to that. So A would be women who prefer older men and why. B would be women who prefer younger men and why.
You got both perspectives. You can answer for both parties. Start off with the first.
Well, gosh, whew. For women who prefer older men and why. It's the mentorship. It's already knowing what they have in mind and what they want to do as far as the planning stage. Mm-hmm. They don't have to wait to ask and probe you full of information. You voluntarily give it, and you pretty much at that stage know what to do. Now, some women beg to differ because they feel that you have some older men that don't get out of the immaturity stage until late in the game. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the ones that the women like, that gives them that extra mentorship, that edge. With the younger men dating, the women dating the younger men, it's more of I hear the cougar type bedroom situation, what they say with the older men, that the older men lack the stamina, body change, and they might need a couple of Viagra pills or take some, some what they call it, kale, and blend it with carrots and put it in a juicer and wait an hour or two.
You sure knew a lot. You know a lot about this, don't you?
But yes, I do. But whatever, Vic. No, Vic, don't be trying to stick. Don't try to stick. Don't gut punch me like that. I'm gonna get you back.
No, wait a minute. It's your reading. You do research, right?
So do you.
Okay, so I'm just giving you credit.
Blogger in 12 minutes. But no, I mean seriously, I hear a lot of, like you and I both. You hear it on the other end, I hear it on the other end. And these are the things that I'm reporting. A lot of women date the younger guys because they feel like they could bring a little spice to their life, or they want to, what I hear, mold that young man into something that they feel is going to represent them in their time, needing time. So that's what I'm hearing.
Okay. Now you're coveting the first part, which I wanted. You combined them. The first one,
I did.
I know you went to the why women date older men,
which would be my part,
right? Which is your
and
part.
then the
advantages
why women date younger men.
Part. You hit both of them,
right?
Okay. Now Macport Townsend Washington says, Miko, he's into the 2-minute drill, so that kind of cuts and chase right there. Okay. Now let me go on to the next part about this. Now.
2 minutes?
Okay, now wait a minute. Let me just say this. Let me say this.
2 minutes?
Let me say this.
Wow. Talk about pump and dump. Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
I have not heard that term in a while.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't let this face fool you.
Okay. Well, let me say this. Okay. I know as a young man growing up, there was always the older man thing. You knew.
Yeah, he always called y'all young cats or young bloods.
Yeah,
y'all young cats or young bloods don't know.
Always.
Yeah.
And it's still ahead of you. It always is
I
the older.
like when they say that with the cigar. Yeah,
you
sorry.
all into that. Do you want your little poetry moment right now?
No.
You can. You can start it off. Go ahead, please.
No, go.
You want to do a walking commercial right now?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I was just trying to get people to enjoy that there's another side of you that's more quality. Okay. Let me say this. The older situation always tend to be that the men, not just only the experience, that they have more resources. Not only the mentality of the experience, resources when you can look at experience and say, I knew what to do.
With the older men, it's a head trip.
Well, hold on. Let me give you the positive.
But in a good way.
Let me give you the positive first before you start going there.
No, but I'm adding to what it's a head trip. It's
Right.
a mind play.
Is it attractive to you?
Yes.
Okay, so
intelligence.
So what you should say is what you like about that head trip is that
it's a good F.
It's a say it.
F.
Mind
effing.
Oh, okay, I got
Can
you.
I say that? With
Well,
the younger guys,
yes.
you don't get that.
You just
it makes you think.
You get the rabbit punch.
Yeah, it's more pow. What the hell was that? Golly, really?
So wait a minute. No, wait a minute. How do you make? Now we got the older man thing because almost all women deal with the idea that the mentality of the guy. If he's the same age and he treats her like an older man, he's in. He's got it.
Yes, it's very far in between. It's few of them.
Right. Okay.
Women tend to snatch those because you're getting the best of both worlds.
Now let's do it. We already know this right offhand. The older man has it because he usually is going to be settled in his career. He's already got his account.
Well, we talking about security, stability, all that. Yeah.
He's not out there playing as hard. He plays a different way though.
Yes.
He doesn't play.
I wouldn't say he don't play. He plays
a different way.
He plays.
Oh, okay. He's
a
more
smooth way of playing.
Strategic.
Yes, I like that.
And he paces himself. Okay, all right. You love that, don't you?
Yeah, I like chess and checkers.
Right. Now, there's also another thing that goes along with it. The bad part, the negative part about
Skip.
If there is a negative connotation to an older man, what is it? Before we get into the positive of the younger man, what's the negative that comes with dating older men? Oh, it's so obvious. It is so. I hear it all the time.
I like to hear what you. Let me hear this because it seemed like the women gave you this answer. I like to hear it. Go on and say it.
Okay, you want to ask? This is your show.
I know it is, and I'm asking you to say it.
Okay, good. The thing I hear about the older men is that they're set in their ways.
Very much so.
Okay, the first thing, no matter what it is.
But see, I
Wait a minute. And it's going to
could be a turn on.
Now, right. Now,
because
that's a different subject, though. It's going to lead into our third segment,
Yes,
so we
it
can't
is.
go there. All right. See, the part about this is that
Oh, God.
that is the part we're talking about. In other words, once they're set in their ways,
it's a challenge.
It's a challenge because they already have the experience.
Some women that it deters, and
Right.
some women it don't.
Right. But what you like about it is you already know that they know how to treat a woman. Now they're using it
To their
at
advantage,
and
as
you
leverage.
and you find it as a turn on, don't you? This is the part I'm talking about. Old school, new school. This is the part I'm saying they will never change.
Never.
Never
I
change.
don't care what you do. Never.
Right. Never change. So fellas, get a page. Don't be like, oh, when can I get? When can I see you? It's not going to work, is it? Okay. So now that's the
Not
that's
for every woman. No, it won't work.
now that's not a negative.
that.
That's not a negative. Let's get to what is the thing that you don't like about dating older men. Oh yeah, there's some things you just try to find. You don't want to put it out there. You think
No,
it's
I'm
like-
gonna put it out there, but
Yeah.
I'm just going through my little closet of which ones,
it's.
Let's see.
There's so many scenarios to bring up.
It is so.
I'm busy. I'm
No.
busy. I'm always busy.
No,
Don't have enough
no,
time.
no.
What?
Well, that could be one for some women. That could be one.
Right.
Scheduling.
You're busy.
Yeah, well,
Time.
scheduling,
Time.
prioritizing.
Right. Not and more dedicated to the career than is to his
you.
love. Right. That's another one. The other one is doesn't like to get out as much and do a lot of different things.
No. Well, I understand you talking about the
just bring-
homebodies.
I'm
I
just-
know what you're saying about the homebodies.
I'm just bringing them up.
But I hear so many, and what I'm trying to do is
What has been your experience and difficulty with older men?
don't do that.
See, I forgot the agreement on the show is that she does not have to actually get into the depth of her personal experience.
I am so going to get into it because there's some things that if I put it on the chopping block, I can't sit up there and like pull from it and then don't
I know.
answer
I know
because
what
then
you're
that's
doing.
kind of biased and it's kind of like I'm not being fair. So in fairness, I want to, try to put some things out there. I don't have to put the whole book.
Right.
But I'll put enough to where it's valid with what we have to say. So back to what you were saying. Yes, it is time. It is about the scheduling. They're very headstrong about the directions that they're going in and what they have time and what they don't have time for.
Full commitment.
Yes.
That's it. I was waiting for you to say it. Full commitment. See, the part I was trying to tell
Full
you.
commitment, yes.
Full
Well,
commitment.
no, that's not always true.
We're talking about
Right.
what you
Majority, yes.
Yes, that's
Yes.
what we're talking about.
Yes,
Full
that is
commitment.
true.
Yes.
Yes.
Full commitment.
Full commitment. Know your place.
That was it. See, that's
Know
the part.
your place.
Right.
Yes.
Full commitment. All right. That is the only and the few negatives, if there are. Now let's go to the positives real quickly of dating.
Or if a woman want kids later on down,
Yeah.
he doesn't want, especially if he's
Full
already
commitment.
had.
Full
Well,
commitment.
full commitment could be like a root with many branches.
It's still
so
full commitment.
With the full commitment, it could be family. If he already had previous family, he might not want to start a new
it still
family.
comes down to the same thing. If he says "I love you, baby," it's full commitment.
That's not full commitment. He working his way up there. That's the stubbornness. Older men tend to be stubborn. When they're set in their ways, they're stubborn. They'll open up. They'll hear what you got to say. But
Right.
if it's not something that's going to stick, that's
Right.
what the women tend to try to work on, the things that are going to stick.
You're right. I don't want to
honestly saying that.
Right. I don't want to ask this question because we need time to get to the younger, but I got to do it because Mac is putting it out there, and I think he's having one of those moments. He says, "Miko, are you into S&M? But I'm the one with the whip."
What the hell that got to do with this? That was the last show. Last show. Wow. Moving on. Here we go. Here we go. Wait a minute. We're going into the next one. So, why do
Quickly.
older women date younger men? I hear a lot of, like I said, they give them the spice in the bedroom. They last longer. Now, I have heard yes, they do, and I've heard no. I heard there's been situations, cases that have been on my show callers that did call in and say that is a false statement, because there are some older men. There are some older men that does have the stamina of a younger man. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but when women are in their 20s and 30s, they think they're doing something. Same thing with the men. They think they're doing something.
You hear that.
You hear that. And
Right.
it's been said by nutritionists and doctors and stuff like that about if you really take time out to study your body, about the body changes when you're in a relationship, or let's say you're dating, and let's say that you guys are getting to that bedroom moment and you're doing your thing. That what you did in your 20s wasn't nothing. What you're doing in your 30s is really not nothing, because when you go through those stages, what is it? When the men reach, 40s, in their 40s, they're like jackrabbits.
Puberty?
No. Come on, Vic.
I'm just saying maturity. I'll say maturity. I'm sorry, Rico. I'm sorry. I know you get on a roll, and look, she's very. I told her that there's gonna be moments where I just.
No, I got it. I was just waiting for it to pass. That too shall pass. Okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Look, I had a long weekend.
I had one too, but
okay.
dang.
Okay. No, do your thing.
Okay, but no, what do they call it when what do you say? 45 minutes. 45 seconds.
Max.
You need to use your hands. Anywho, that'll be your 45 seconds, Mac. But no, Mac for a time is just wicked with it.
Yes, he is.
I like to put some in his mouth, gag him. But anywho, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I said that to rebuttal against his statement.
I'm following you.
But moving on.
Right.
When you're in your 40s, men are in their 40s, what do they call that? I don't want to say.
Old?
No, it's a word for it. Dang it.
Senior citizen?
No, it has nothing to do with that portion of it. It's your drive goes up.
Oh, you mean, you, what are you talking about? Your
sex drive.
Your sex drive
Right.
goes up. Oh,
It
yeah.
goes up.
Mentally, it goes up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. No.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry. You're moving so fast. You kind of leave yourself open sometime. I'm sorry. I do apologize, you guys. She's very serious. I'm the one to take responsibility for this.
No, I'm going to just kick him in the throat for that one, because, he's just wrong for that. I'm trying to get this point across. And you
gotta cut to the
everybody
chase.
that's out there listening,
You gotta cut to the
excuse
chase.
us, because, I really was trying to say it, and I'm procrastinating because I'm trying to figure out what's the word for it. But I'm going to just go with sex drive. Excuse me for, sex drive. So the
Okay.
sex drive, it's interesting that you hear people say, and even on talk shows and talk radio shows, television shows, you've heard people say that when you get up in your 40s for the men, your sex drive goes through the roof. Now, you're thinking at the age of 20, 30s that your sex drive is through the roof and out of control.
No, it's
but when
not.
you start to slow down, I think Steve Harvey said, could I say that?
Said what?
Steve Harvey.
You can say.
Oh.
Steve. This Steve Harvey III. You mean? I'm just playing. Go ahead. You can say whatever you want.
Ooh.
No, you can reference the subject. It's a
Okay,
subject,
but help me go. What? I ain't helping you
Okay,
with nothing.
you better be
but
careful.
Anywho, Steve Harvey had said, I know that he doesn't speak for most men, but the man is famous and he's done his work and he's made his mistakes. So I'm sure he learned from it before
Right.
y'all start hating and banging on him. But he had mentioned in Dr. What is it, Mr. Phil?
Mm-hmm. Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil?
Yeah.
Dr. Phil had asked him some questions pertaining to his book.
Right.
And he was talking about when men start to settle down as far as age. I'm not talking about with women or, anything else, but just with their sexuality, as far as the sex drive, that when you're in your 20s and 30s, that you're thinking that's out of control, that you're really doing something.
But it's not.
But you're really not.
Not nowhere near. Your
And-
mind goes buck wild.
And I think it's I don't know, this is interesting. I think that's why most younger women go to the older men, because half of them figure it out.
They figure out to get the resources, the experience, and the drive. Yeah.
It's half of them
Yeah.
figured out. Now, the question would be, how come the older women are not going to that? And the older women seem to go to the younger men because of
The lack of the drive in a lot of men who may not be as interested in and focus. What if the focus is on that they're not focused on them as much anymore? Let's just say a lot of times they say the blame is that the men are disinterested, right?
I don't believe
older
that.
men. And I'm not saying it's the case, but
I think they get into arguments when it comes to when they start to compare their life experiences, and the knowledge
we
department
talked about
is
something.
when that happens.
we talked about something. We're going to bring this up another subject another day. We
Right.
talked about people, men and women alike, but you hear it a lot more with women because they tend to resign themselves from going out and kind of hunting and seeking like a man does. Men, we continue on. We hunt, we seek. It keeps going on. But we talked about this. Aren't there
That's
women?
interesting.
Aren't there women who actually say, "Okay, I've had my fun in the 20s and 30s. Now I'm about to settle down and get serious. I'm going to be more conservative. I'm not going to be as attractive."
But
maybe
they go
as
for
many
those younger ones.
Right.
Why?
Yeah,
If
and-
that's the case, it's contradicting.
Right. Well, listen. What I'm trying to say is,
But you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That is contradicting.
would you
because-
turn off what worked for you just because you're getting more serious?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
But you know what? It's interesting because I guess they figured that, I would love for someone to.
You can continue.